ahead. Again, thanks everyone that's joined us. I do appreciate your time. Again, I know this is early evening and you've taken some time out of your evening to spend it with me. So really, this is a webinar that serves to be educational, and Savvy & Company is hosting these educational webinars throughout 2021. And I would be very honored to, prepare and have the next, webinar. And I know that they've got a series of them that they've planned throughout each month of the year. So I'll be on that circuit, and hopefully I can be presenting some more valuable information and topics. And hopefully this one will be of value to you tonight. So I do want to just say thank you. And if you want to open up your chat screen, you certainly can do that. If you have a question or you want to share anything with me, you can feel free to do that and interact with me throughout the webinar. All right, so before we get started, does anyone have anything? Everyone good?
Yeah.
I don't see anyone else that is sitting out here in the waiting room for me. Okay. All right. Well, again, tonight we're going to focus on downsizing. And I think a lot of times in this marketplace, people hear the word downsizing and a lot of anxiety just results out of that. There's a lot of angst, a lot of anxiety that happens. And they start thinking about, oh my gosh, downsizing. What does that mean? What am I supposed to be thinking about? What am I supposed to consider? And I'm here to tell you that downsizing does not need to be overwhelming, and it does not need to stall you or get you to a place where you cannot move forward. So downsizing is something that every one of us, we're going to go through in our life. And I think a lot of times people think that downsizing just fits one group of people in particular, and it doesn't. So what I want to do is kind of kick it off to make it a little bit fun and interactive. So let me see if I can move my screen. All right. And I'm not sure why my screen, there we go. Okay. Can you all see my screen? Do you see, am I ready to downsize? Yes?
Yes, we do.
Okay, awesome. So I just am going to kick it off with just asking a very simple question. Are you ready to downsize? All right. When you think about that, am I ready to downsize? What does that mean? Are you ready to do that? Well, let's jump in. And I feel like Fallon here as well, where he's just like all over the place. And he was like, oh, because I was just like, what am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to think about? How do I plan for this? And that's that whole feeling of anxiety that people start to have when they start to think of downsizing and what that means. And I'm here to tell you that it doesn't need to be out of control. It can be very much a well thought out process, and I'm here to help you. So one of the first things I'm going to do is let's dispel the myths from the facts. So what are the common myths out there from the actual facts? And I think the first thing is one size fits all. Well, I'm here to tell you that it does not. One size does not fit all. It is not for one particular group. It's not for one particular race or gender. It is not one specific demographic. It is not any of that. Okay. It is applicable to any person that has gone through a transition or what I call a lifestyle change. So one size does not fit all. So for those of you that thought that was a myth, you got that correct. All right, so the next one, I'll just pause here. What do you guys think? Is downsizing synonymous with selling and moving? Is that a myth or is that a fact? What do y'all think? Go ahead, throw it out there. Debbie, what do you?
Myth?
You say myth? Okay, synonymous with selling and moving. Okay, anyone else? Okay, well, this is a fact because Downsizing is associated with selling and moving, because when you think of downsizing, you're thinking, okay, I have to let go, I have to reduce, I have to eliminate, I have to do it for a reason to go do something else. So it is synonymous with selling and moving. So that is a fact. Does it mean purging or cleaning out your closet? Is that a myth or is that a fact?
That would be a myth to me.
Yes. Although it oftentimes is a result of cleaning out your closet. But yes, it's a myth. It's really not about, oh, I got to go into that room and purge. And as much as the pandemic offered a lot of opportunity for DIY, right? And people going, oh man, I got to get out and clean that garage. I got to clean the attic. I got to purge. I got to do this. In essence, yes, they were getting rid of stuff, but downsizing holistically does not mean that, right? So it's more comprehensive. It's not about going to that closet and cleaning it out. So myth or fact, can experts help?
Yes, that's a fact.
That is a fact. That is a fact. Um, am I an expert in downsizing? I would tell you, I have downsized, I have experience. I'm not an expert, but I definitely know of experts in the business that will help you through that planning and the actual elimination process. And I know that sounds a little kind of hairy to say elimination, but trust me, that's what they help you do, is to get rid of and to release and to let go. So there are experts out there, but I myself am a senior real estate lifestyle specialist. So I also have experience with downsizing and can definitely assist in that planning process, but also getting the right people on board. Okay. So here's some of the things that I always want people to think about when we talk about downsizing. Oftentimes you think about it as a empty nester, which I have college graduate children and high schoolers. Okay. I'm on the verge of being an empty nester. I don't feel that, but potentially I'm going to be that and not downsize again, right? I've already downsized once in my life, but typically most people think of empty nesters or people that are in their kind of their middle age or their golden age, but that is not the case. Again, one size does not fit all. Um, People that downsize often could be relocating from a different part of the country or the state or in their own town or maybe even internationally, and they're looking for a smaller space, right? So they're relocating and they need to downsize. Um, Oftentimes people are downsizing when they go through a really big life transition, perhaps a separation or a divorce, and they are also looking to reduce their items and their space. And then there are just people that want to simplify their lives. They just want something that is not too much to manage anymore, and they just want to save money. So they will also downsize as well. So those are some of the types of examples of people that are moving through lifestyle transitions, as I call it. So again, one size does not fit all, and it is not for the empty nesters. Let me see if I have anyone else that's joined. Okay. All right. So the next two slides, I just want to go through very quickly as considerations. Perhaps they're keys, but they're considerations. And I always tell and advise my clients, anytime they're looking to downsize, you have to create a plan. Well, where do you start when you create a plan? It's really simple. You have to envision. You have to have a vision for your new lifestyle. And so here are some of the things you need to be thinking about. The first thing is your finances. And I know that most people are like, okay, I need to sell and it's going to cost me this. And this is the kind of money I need to make out of my home. But it's a little bit more comprehensive than that. It is really looking at your financial goals and understanding everything that has to go into the actual sell and the move. And so when you're downsizing, there's additional costs. So you have to really create a budget and figure out exactly what those finances are going to look like. The second thing you want to do is look at location. So if you are downsizing and you want to go from one place to another, point A to point B, well, what's your motivation for that? Is it driven by your job? Is it driven by your family? Is it driven by other extenuating circumstances? You know, what are those motivations on where you need to go? So as you think about that, you need to consider your family and your social life, because you want to arrive or live in a place that is going to be conducive to your lifestyle. So you don't want to just land somewhere and not understand what's happening in the community, right? The neighborhood. You want to understand, kind of your demographics. You need to understand transportation. You need to understand shopping, your crime stats. You need to understand your school district. So there's a lot that goes into location and your amenities. So I know a lot of times young people will move from one place to another to get better amenities, and that really is part of it. Like, what are you looking for when you get there? Um, do you need something that has a dog park? Do you need animal friendly places, right? Do you need something where you can walk to get to public transportation or a light rail, right? Versus a car. Um, Maybe you don't need that. Maybe it comes down to space. When you think about downsizing, a lot of people are like, well, I got to reduce, right? It's a reduction of space, and it's also elimination of stuff. So you start to think about, well, space, well, so then if I'm going to downsize, I need something smaller, right? But in having something smaller, is it meeting all of your space requirements? Like, let's say an office or a flex space, because I mean, let's face it, with the pandemic, so many people are now working remotely. I'm working remotely. Debbie's working remotely. Julie, Stevie, Don. I think Jacob's the exception, but many people are working remotely and they need that office or that flex space. So maybe you didn't have it before, now you need it. Okay. So you have to think about your space requirements. And then, of course, people. So everything we do in our life is about relationships and about people. So how many people do you need to account for? Okay. If you're an empty nester, maybe you need to reduce from a 4 bedroom to a two. Okay. Or, maybe you're at a place where you're like, no, I really need to take in my in-laws, because they're going to go downsize over here, but I need, something that's going to allow for an in-law setup. Right. So you need to really think about your people and your friends and your family in your life. Guest room, for example, or maybe it's something as simple as, a futon, who knows, but you do need to take into account the people in your life and what that looks like. All right. So I'm on the next slide here. And this really, to me, is the meat. It's kind of the teeth of the presentation. It's all about the possessions, because let's face it, all of us have a lot of stuff. We have a lot of accumulation, a lot of stuff that we have gathered over our lifetime. And a lot of it is enjoyable and it's there and we love it, but we're at a place where we don't necessarily need it anymore. And this is the part of downsizing that can be very difficult for people. It's very emotional, it's very psychological. And it's like, oh, but these are the greatest, antiques that have been passed down to me, or this is something that I've had since I, was a child, or what have you. But these are things that have soul and personality for us, and we just love them. Well, there's a point in time where um, they don't serve the purpose anymore. And so you have to really start looking at, well, what is it in my life that I'm ready to give up and I'm ready to let go of? I'm ready to release it. It almost feels like you're letting go of a person or a relationship or something like that. But in a way, that's what this is. Possessions are something that people really keep very close to them and they don't know how to say goodbye to it. So this is where experts come in. Can experts help? Absolutely. This is where organizational consultants, simplification coaches, these are the people that can come in and really just understand who you are as a person, what you have, and how you can start to build a plan on letting go and releasing that and figuring out what you do with it. Okay. So DIY, I talked about that earlier. And again, a lot of people are DIYers. I'm a DIYer. I'm a big organizer, big planner. So I pretty much can go into a room and be like, okay, this has got to go, this, that, and I can organize and start to do that. That's not the case for everybody. All right. There are those out there that just simply cannot walk into a room and do that. But if you are a DIYer and you do want to start the downsizing process, you definitely can figure out the way in which you want to organize your effort, right? Sometimes people do it by colors. I'm not even kidding. Like everything is color coordinated, right? Some people do it through their closet space and just organizing, clothes versus shoes or other stuff that's in there. Some will do it by furniture. Some will do it room by room. So there's all kinds of there's no one way that works, right? Everyone has a different approach on it. But if you're a DIYer and you want to start downsizing, the best thing to do is just figure out your effort. Just organize the effort, figure out what's going to work for you and your system, and then put it into place. Okay. But then there are those of us that cannot. And I've got several friends, I've got people in my neighborhood that are looking to actually have experts come in because some of their children do not want their items, and they are at a place where they're like, well, what do I do with it? How do I release this? How do I let go? And those are the experts that understand the psychological and the emotional side of possessions, and they can actually offer up great advice. And I actually do know of a person that can help with either the videos or the collaging. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but where, like, say for example, you've got all this stuff that you've had throughout the years from your kids, which I have boxes of stuff too. And they would go in and they would capture the most important thing out of that, make collages or books or albums, or take videos like, the VHS tapes or old stuff like that, and work with other experts to convert it. Or just, looking at furniture and either repurposing it, etc. But they will find very creative ways to basically help you release and downsize and get to that desired end goal there. So they do help to take the angst out of the unknown. So I do have referrals if anyone ever wants to know. I just advise that you always seek reputable and credible experts in the business. Um, you do not want to do this on your own if you're not feeling like you can do it. And you definitely want to have people that have been in the business and know what they are doing. Okay. So here we go, y'all. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Who's this actor?
Oh,
Don, who's this actor?
Bill Murray.
Yay! You got this. You got this. I mean, again, I started this off saying that it feels so overwhelming, and it doesn't need to be. You've got this, and here's part of why you've got this, because I'm here to tell you that all of the wonderful professionals, realtor brokers, and just awesome friends at Savvy and Company, they are willing to help any of us as we move through this downsizing and selling our home. And more importantly, I'm also here. So as a senior real estate specialist, again, that's 55 plus market that I focus on in relocation, but I'm also here to help anyone that's moving through the downsizing process. Again, we have already talked about this is not exclusive to any kind of age or group or gender or race or sex or anything, right? It can happen at any age, any group across the board. So think about that. Also, the most important thing I want to share just coming out of this is to create the plan. So I gave you recommendations. Now you have to really work to create the plan, and I can help you with that. And then activate the plan. It's not going to do anyone any good if you can't take a plan and activate the plan. And that's why I'm also here to help, because I will ensure that the plan is created, but we can also activate it and make sure that we can make progress. Again, you want to make sure that your timeline is always taken into consideration. A lot of people underestimate this timeline piece. And look, it takes time to downsize. It takes time to plan it. It takes time to, figure out what's going to go, what's going to stay. It takes time to bring in the right experts, the right movers, the removal of items, the sale of items, the donation of items. It all takes time. So you have to make sure timeline is built in, as well as those costs. So we talked about those costs earlier. You just got to really understand, how much is it going to cost me to, bring in an expert? And I think the important thing is to know you can always offset. You can offset those costs by selling, right? You can have some return on your investment by actually selling, because you could have thousands of dollars, thousands upon thousands of dollars sitting in your home right now that you could sell, make some profit, get a bit of a return on that investment and offset those costs. Now that's pretty smart, I would say. Um, so as I kind of close out this presentation, the key objective for what I would like to leave with everyone is really downsizing is about getting your home ready to sell. And if you have the right agent, such as myself at Savvy and Company, I can help you build that plan and get you top dollar for your home. And so it's all about listing and selling at the top of the market. So when you have your home ready to showcase, it's move-in ready, you've done all the downsizing, maybe you've even done some deferred maintenance around maybe some paint, lightening it up. It has really been staged for buyers to come and want to buy your home. So downsizing is such an important concept and something that is so critical as you get ready to think about selling your home. So that is the objective that I want to leave with everyone tonight, is being able to list your home and sell it at the top of the market. So again, any questions or anything y'all want to put in the chat, I'm here. You can ask me anything. And I think I hit right about 30 minutes. Pretty brief presentation, but I do hope you guys learned something today from it, going through those considerations and things that you need to think about as you're getting ready to sell your home. And just know that I am here for you. I can answer any questions that you might have. No question is a stupid question, in my opinion. So ask away. If there's anything that I can help you with, just let me know.
Hey, thank you. It's very good.
Yep, excellent.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Don.
If we downsize, you're not talking about my stuff though, right?
She is.
Possibly, yes, it's all part of the equation, right? All right. Well, Stevie and Julie, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming in on the call and helping me out with the setup. And I'm looking forward to the next webinar and having a greater audience. And so looking to maybe bring in a couple of guest speakers as we talked about. So thanks, everyone. Go enjoy the rest of your evening. Have some good food, some good drink, and spend some time with family. So thanks, everyone. Have a nice
Thanks,
evening.
Robin.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.